Were you surprised by Paddy's game plan?
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him, he couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
Just curious, what did you think about Paddy's chin? Because a lot of people say Justin Gaethje is the hardest hitter they've ever faced.
Yeah, but Paddy got knocked out like 15, 20 times. Yeah, Justin was like 3-4 years ago, he was different. Now it's like he's getting old and it's last a couple fights he got.
I just felt like I did enough. I just felt like I did enough to get the job done. Paddy is getting the beat out of him right now, it looks like. Jesus, this might not end well.
It was almost like he understood the assignment. We're on Paramount. There's a new network. There are going to be new fans. We need to introduce them to what the UFC is. I think after watching that, everybody that was tuned in are going to be lifelong fans of the UFC. Because on the special nights, there is not a sport in the world that can compare to the UFC. And tonight we have one of those special nights.
Paddy's heart.
Oh, bro.
The grit of this kid. I don't care that he lost the fight. He comes back and murders like most guys.
Yeah.
Like anyone that doesn't have the grit. Like obviously everyone, like myself and everybody else, is worried about how much a fight like this takes out of you. But he's super young.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think he's young enough to bounce back from a fight like this and to turn it into a superpower moving forward. Because not many people survive Gaethje the way he does, the way he did, or like have moments of greatness late in the fight after taking the hits that he took.
Justin Gaethje, a man known for some of the hardest hits in MMA history, landed countless overhand rights on Paddy Pimblett. Yet, Pimblett's chin, often considered a potential weakness, somehow absorbed blows that should have flatlined him 50 different times. Experts were left genuinely speechless, bewildered by how he stayed conscious, throwing back despite his jaw being exposed repeatedly. It was an absolute miracle of grit and sheer durability, defying all expectations for a fighter some had previously dismissed with a crude label for his chin. The sheer brutality and Pimblett's impossible survival painted a picture nobody anticipated, sparking immediate controversy and awe.
In the UFC, you were saying stuff like, well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. You know, it's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I believe in, say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take him down and submit him here.
Moreover, the initial confusion surrounding Paddy's game plan was palpable among analysts. Why did he attempt to box with Gaethje, a striking powerhouse, when his grappling prowess was his undeniable strength? It seemed like a critical miscalculation, a deviation from a smarter, more traditional approach that would have maximized his advantages. This choice baffled many, raising questions about his corner strategy and Pimblett's own assessment of his opponent's formidable striking capability. The decision to stand and trade became the immediate focal point of post-fight critiques.
And we've been talking about a lot of fights. I want to say this, congrats to Justin Gaethje. What an unbelievable performance. Paddy the Baddy, oh my God, he impressed the hell out of me. Incredible. He'll learn from that, but I tell you what, he's got what you can't teach. Heart, grit, determination, all that shit. Yeah, he can make tweaks. You can put the chin down, you can lift the hands up. What he showed tonight is that he is legit. The man is real, and that's for damn sure. He's at the hospital right now. He'll be fine. They're just checking him out. Gotta say though, well done, Justin Gaethje. He was the
Demetrius Johnson, a legendary figure in the sport, openly criticized Pimblett's tactical error. He praised Paddy's exceptional grappling, but pointed out the clear deviation from a sound game plan. Johnson argued that Pimblett seemed to believe he could knock out Gaethje, a feat few have accomplished. He emphasized that Paddy simply doesn't possess the torque to finish someone as battle-hardened as Gaethje, who has survived wars with legends like Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. This misjudgment of his own power versus Gaethje's legendary durability proved costly.
He's a very, very good at grappling, and I felt that he deviated from the game plan, meaning that if I was in his corner, you're going to move. One, he's got to keep his hands up here. I like the traditional look where you can move, you can elbow, you throw your right hand, right, left, high kick, push kick. You're just way more, this is standard. This is like the best option. But I still feel like he deviated from the game plan where I think he felt that he was going to be able to knock out Justin Gaethje, and I just don't think Paddy Pimblett has that torque. Not saying he can't do it, I just don't think he has the torque to knock out a guy like Justin Gaethje, who's been in wars with guys like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's knocked him out. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier. He's been in wars with Eddie Alvarez. He's just been in a lot of wars on the feet. But when you look at some of the things that, Khabib did to Justin Gaethje, he made it look easy. He took him down, past his guard, mounted.
Gaethje, on the other hand, reverted to his terrifying old-school style. He executed a pressure-heavy, aggressive game plan, walking Pimblett down with guns blazing, turning the bout into a brutal dogfight. This calculated, unforgiving approach was a stark reminder of why he remains one of the division's most dangerous forces. His strategy banked entirely on his ability to absorb more punishment, dish out more damage, and ultimately outlast his opponent in a grueling, relentless pace. It was a masterclass in controlled chaos.
The technical aspect to this entire game plan, okay? Gaethje was going to pressure fight him, walking down, guns blazing, turn it into a dogfight.
Yeah.
And hopefully he outlasts Paddy, okay? This whole game plan is banking on the fact that he knows he can take more, he can deal more, and he can capitalize on it later in the fight. Okay, because and to be fair, he's got legs to walk with that because he's done it time and time again. And round 3, we saw him be like, okay, I'm gonna take this round off.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna stay at mid-range. I'm not gonna walk you down and just let you come back a little bit, try to build some energy. Right? And everyone was worried. Like, honestly, I saw like a glint of disinterest from Gaethje.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was weird. But then round 4 just puts his foot back on the pedal, maybe knowing he's got 2 rounds left. Bar fight Gaethje. It was Gaethje of old. It was so.
The narrative quickly shifted to Gaethje's understanding of the moment. For a significant pay-per-view and new network, there were fresh fans tuning in, and the UFC needed to introduce them to the sport's visceral excitement. Gaethje delivered. Many believe that after witnessing that unforgettable clash, everyone who tuned in became a lifelong fan. It underscored the unique magic of the UFC, proving that on special nights, no other sport in the world can compare to its raw, unpredictable drama.
Thought he got the better of. This was a great scrap. I have no idea how Paddy Pimblett did not get flatline KO'd on about 50 different occasions. If he lost, yes, he did lose. And if he lost any stock from this, the one saving grace is that he's been saying for a long time, we don't get knocked out, lad. And that would be the worst thing to happen to him. If he got KO'd in one of these fights badly, that would just be his ridicule forever. What happened to Scousers don't get knocked out, and it'd just be images of Paddy Pimblett out cold. I have no idea how he didn't get flatlined in this fight. Justin Gaethje was cracking him with so many overhand rights. And the worst part was, it's not even like you were understanding why he took the shot so well. Oh, he was rolling with that one. Oh, he tucked into that one a little bit. He saw it coming. I could see the shots coming. I was wincing while Gaethje was loading up because you could see Pimblett leaving exchanges with his chin up in the air and just getting his whole jaw span. And somehow he's still in the fight and throwing back. Absolutely crazy fight. Need to win, but I am going to bring up the fouls. Gaethje fought very fucking dirty in this fight. A lot of eye pokes. A groin shot as well. I think Paddy Pimblett had a groin shot that he landed too. But that was towards the end of the fight where it was just an absolute mess of a scrap between the two of them. But Gaethje landed some really, really bad eye pokes on him. But it doesn't matter because the result is the result. Pimblett gets beaten over.
Michael Bisping openly admired Pimblett's sheer determination, even as he congratulated Gaethje for an exceptional performance. Bisping highlighted that while there might have been technical shortcomings, what Paddy displayed was unteachable, heart, grit, and incredible resolve. He made it clear that despite the loss, this fight solidified Paddy's legitimacy as a true fighter, proving he is real and possesses the mental fortitude to contend at the highest level. This unwavering spirit truly impressed the former champion.
Justin Big Rufus Gaethje puts on a very destructive performance against Paddy Pimblett. Kind of sloppy. Little bit of a street beefs masterclass, if that's the word that you want to use to describe these two. Just standing in the pocket, swinging, trading, falling all over each other. There was some goofy takedown attempts and scrambles. But what it came down to is, like I said in the prediction video, Paddy Pimblett at that long range was landing some nice calf kicks. His jab was working quite well against him. We knew that Justin Gaethje, when he defends, ducks down into strikes, and Paddy Pimblett was able to land some nice knees up the middle, some nice head kicks. There was a couple of fouls back and forth that we'll talk about in this fight as well, but mostly it came down to at range, Paddy Pimblett could do well, and he was kind of trying to force maybe a bad exchange out of Justin Gaethje where he could get some grappling going, but really didn't go for the takedowns in this fight. He's not really a guy that will shoot a takedown and rest.
The grit displayed by Paddy, even in defeat, became a central talking point. Bisping stated unequivocally, "I don't care that he lost the fight." He argued that Paddy possesses a rare quality, the ability to bounce back and murder most guys who lack his level of grit. This indomitable will, combined with his youth, poses a crucial question. Can he transform this brutal experience into a superpower moving forward, using it to fuel his ascent in the division?
But at the end of the day, like, watching this fight, you do kind of just have to laugh to yourself because they're fighting tooth and fucking nail. They're scrapping for the honor of getting slimed out by fucking Ilia Topuria. Like, we already knew that before this fight, but nothing in this fight has convinced me otherwise that Ilia does not KO both these guys in like 2 rounds flat. I know that's not a hot take or unpopular opinion, but yeah, Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett, they went out there, they had a crazy brawl. Ilia's probably going to get on. This was like two drunk dogs fighting for the bone. You know what I mean? That's how Ilia would describe it, but it was entertaining.
Moreover, concerns about the long-term impact of such a devastating fight immediately surfaced. Experts worried about how much a brutal encounter like this takes out of a young fighter, both physically and mentally. While Pimblett is super young, the cumulative damage from taking countless heavy shots could have lasting repercussions. The discussion quickly turned to whether his youth is truly enough to bounce back and turn this traumatic experience into a strength, or if it might shorten his career trajectory. Gaethje's unparalleled experience and remarkable durability made him exceptionally hard to finish, a fact that Demetrius Johnson emphasized. He has endured countless wars with the sport's elite, absorbing punishment that would crumble most fighters. This iron will and seemingly endless gas tank meant that no matter how confident Pimblett might have been in his power, or how many torque shots he landed, the likelihood of knocking out a fighter like Gaethje was always astronomically low. His legendary chin and heart are practically unmatched. The fight's aftermath only intensified the discussion. UFC experts and former fighters quickly jumped in to analyze the outcome, highlighting the chaos and the profound statements made by both men. Gaethje remained loyal to his relentless pressure, experience, and unforgiving pace, demolishing Pimblett on the massive stage. Yet, even in defeat, Pimblett's resilience ignited a new wave of debate about his future and his place in the division, forcing a reevaluation of his potential. While acknowledging Pimblett's durability, some commentators couldn't ignore Gaethje's questionable tactics. Multiple eye pokes and at least one low blow were highlighted as incredibly dirty fighting, impacting the flow and fairness of the bout. Although Pimblett also landed a low shot later in the messy scramble, the earlier fouls by Gaethje were deemed significant. This controversial element added another layer to the already wild and chaotic narrative, prompting further debate on sportsmanship and fighting ethics in such high-stakes contests. The fight was ultimately described as a sloppy, street beefs masterclass by some analysts, implying a raw, unrefined brawl rather than a highly technical display. Both fighters stood in the pocket swinging wildly, trading blows and often falling all over each other in goofy takedown attempts and scrambles. It was a chaotic, non-stop spectacle that energized the entire card, proving that sometimes unbridled action and raw aggression can be more entertaining than perfect technique. Despite the overwhelming pressure, Pimblett did have moments of success, especially at range. His calf kicks landed effectively, and his jab proved surprisingly potent against Gaethje. Knowing Gaethje tends to duck into strikes when defending, Pimblett exploited this by landing some nice knees up the middle, and even a few head kicks. These technical flashes offered a glimpse of what a more disciplined game plan might have achieved, demonstrating his potential even against a top-tier opponent. Robert Whitaker, observing Gaethje's performance, noted a fascinating tactical shift. In round 3, Gaethje seemed to momentarily take his foot off the pedal, backing up and staying at mid-range, allowing Pimblett to potentially build some energy. This brief glint of disinterest from Gaethje worried some observers. However, in round 4, he abruptly put his foot back on the pedal, unleashing Gaethje of old with renewed ferocity, perhaps knowing he still had 2 rounds left to secure the victory. The contrast with Khabib Nurmagomedov's previous dominance over Justin Gaethje was brought up by Demetrius Johnson. Khabib made it look easy, Johnson observed, taking Gaethje down, passing guard, and mounting him without much resistance. This served as a stark reminder of the difference in grappling prowess and how a more traditional, wrestling-heavy game plan could arguably be the most effective strategy against Gaethje's aggressive striking style, a path Pimblett regrettably chose not to fully explore. A significant point of contention was the surprise of Pimblett being the favorite in this fight. Many speculated that this unexpected burden might have fecked him up, leading to a misguided game plan. In most of his previous bouts, Pimblett was the underdog, thriving under less pressure, being tipped to win against a formidable opponent like Gaethje for the first time on such a grand stage, likely added immense psychological weight, perhaps influencing his decision to stand and trade. Even though he lost, the discussion about Pimblett's future in the division became immediately intense. Do experts now consider him one of the best in the lightweight division moving forward, given the durability and toughness he displayed against Gaethje? This question weighed heavily on analysts. His ability to withstand Gaethje's power and show such heart suggested he is far from an ordinary fighter, cementing his place in the conversation as a serious threat for years to come. Helwani highlighted how the rounds swung back and forth, creating a truly unpredictable and compelling contest. Despite messy takedown attempts and fouls from both sides, it was Gaethje's unwavering pressure, his willingness to trade inside, and his remarkable ability to absorb punishment while constantly moving forward that ultimately decided the fight. His relentless nature set the tone, ensuring he maintained momentum and ultimately walked away with the interim title in a destructive performance. Perhaps the most brutally honest perspective came from Bedtime MMA, who suggested the fight, despite its entertainment, was somewhat futile in the grand scheme. They humorously implied the fighters were scrapping for the honor of getting slimed out by fucking Ilia Topuria, a top contender who likely views both Gaethje and Pimblett as easily dispatched opponents. This stark, almost cynical take put the brawl into a broader context, highlighting the relentless nature of the division's hierarchy. Ilia Topuria himself, known for his brash confidence, would likely dismissively describe the wild brawl. Bedtime MMA imagined Topuria's reaction, likening the brutal, chaotic slugfest to drunk dogs fighting for a bone. This cutting assessment underscores the significant challenge that top-tier, undefeated contenders like Topuria represent, suggesting that while the fight was entertaining, it likely didn't change the perceived pecking order in the division for the most elite talent. Ultimately, Justin the Highlight Gaethje secured the interim title, cementing his status at the top of the lightweight division. His destructive performance, despite its sloppy moments, showcased his enduring power, experience, and strategic brilliance. He weathered Pimblett's best shots, adapted to the chaos, and outlasted a truly durable opponent, proving once again why he remains one of the most dangerous and consistently thrilling forces in the UFC's deep talent pool. This fight will be remembered not just for the interim title, but for transcending expectations. It was a raw, unfiltered display of human endurance and warrior spirit, proving that heart and grit can sometimes defy technical analysis and even physics. Paddy Pimblett survived an onslaught that would have ended most careers, while Justin Gaethje once again solidified his legend as a relentless, unforgiving force. It left fans debating, marveling, and ultimately yearning for more of the unpredictable magic that only the UFC can deliver.